Hare Krishna. Hare. Okay. So anyone who helps me with social media, the Facebook login has been changed. I will telepathically transmit it to you. It's a familiar login. Okay, so this is from my upload. So one who is spreading Krishna Upadesh, simply repeat what is said by Krishna. Then you become Acharya. Oh yeah, today today's Wednesday. I was supposed to actually, I completely forgot. I was actually supposed to attend. No. I know what happened. Totally spaced out. Okay, so we're okay. We're actually starting on time. You all got special blessings. So that space out was fine. What actually happened was my Wednesday class was pushed over to Thursday. So then I forgot. Yeah, I completely forgot. Anyway, no problem. So it all worked out, right? Yeah. Okay. So welcome to all of you. We just went to the moon and back. For those of you who just arrived, we just went to the moon. At least that's what the newspaper said we did. And Prabhupada said, I believe in the Shastra, not the newspaper. Not that you can't believe in the newspaper sometimes, but if the newspaper differs from the Shastra, then we'll go for the Shastra, unless we misunderstand the Shastra. So this is an interesting lecture. Please pay attention. You're probably not going to like what's being said here, or maybe you won't mind what's being said, but you may not like what I'm going to say. So get ready. You can always exit before I begin speaking. Okay, so one who is spreading Krishna Upadesh, simply repeat what is said by Krishna. Then you become Acharya. That you includes all of you, okay? So don't think this doesn't include you. Like, Prabhupada's not talking about me, of course, because I could never be Acharya, right? No, he's talking about you. You know, you, the one you see every morning when you brush your teeth, that you he's talking about. Not the devotee down the street. You. Suppose you have got now 10,000 devotees. That's Prabhupada saying. We shall expand to 100,000. That is required. Then 100,000 to million, and million to 10 million. What is Prabhupada talking about when he says we will expand? You know, suppose we have 10,000. Prabhupada, you know, there were at least 10,000 devotees in ISKCON when Prabhupada left. So let's go back to what he said in the beginning. Okay, everyone. So one who is spreading Krishna Upadesh, Upadesh means the advice or instructions of Krishna. Have you ever told anybody what Krishna said? Have you ever done that? Probably the answer is yes, of course. All right. Simply repeat what is said by Krishna, then you become Acharya. Wow. Gabrielle is thinking, me, Acharya? I'm Acharya? What are you talking about? I can hardly chant my rounds properly. And I'm Acharya. Well, I didn't say that. Prabhupada said it. Now, this is how you become Acharya. You repeat what Krishna says. Of course, also you do what he says. But then Prabhupada says, now we have 10,000. And Prabhupada was referring to the number of devotees, but he was referring to 10,000 acharyas. That's what he was referring to. Not that now we have 10,000 devotees. Then there'll be 100,000. Then there'll be, what did he go up to? 1 million and then 10 million. 10,000, 100,000, a million, 10 million. What was he referring to? Acharyas, gurus. Interesting, isn't it? All of you, you means you, not somebody else. You're all meant to be acharya. Repeat what Krishna says, you become acharya. And Prabhupada in another lecture said, he said, but I'm not qualified. How do I become acharya? And Prabhupada said, repeat what Krishna said, then you're acharya. Postman, deliver the mail. Don't open it. Don't add anything. Don't take it away. Just get the mail to the right address in one piece. Then you're acharya. Okay. I probably ruined your day, right? You think, oh my God, I have to become acharya. You know, you already are actually. You just have to admit it. That's another thing. You already are acharya. Acharya is teacher. You're already teaching. So, and ladies and gentlemen, you know what happens when you teach? Should I tell you? People start thinking you're very advanced because they think that whatever you teach, you perfectly follow, right? Isn't it? Well, if you don't realize it, I'm here to tell you that's how they think. And also, when they've been around a little longer, they think, I wonder if she really follows everything she's saying. And they start examining you to see if you actually follow. So, anyway, it's a thought. It doesn't mean you give initiation, because Prabhupada is so important. And we have a problem because when we use the word guru in ISKCON at this point, 2021, when we use the word guru, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when we say guru? Well, Prabhupada comes to our mind. Maybe Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the current gurus in ISKCON. Well, how many current gurus are there in ISKCON? Well, according to the figures I've read, maybe 100. There are 100 gurus. No, that's wrong. How many devotees are there in ISKCON? That's how many gurus there are, right? So, when we say guru, we think usually Diksha Guru or maybe some senior Siksha gurus. But guru means teacher. You're all gurus, whether you like it or not. If you've told someone about Krishna, you're their guru, whether you like it or not. Now, what are you going to do about that? That's the next thing. Are you going to continue taking care of them and guiding them and setting an example? Yeah, that's what Prabhupada's saying is needed. We need 10 million gurus. So Prabhupada's calculation is 10 million gurus should be enough for 7 billion people. I don't know. Someone do the figures. How many disciples will you have? Well, 8 billion point, what is it? 8.2 billion now? 8.3 divided by 10 million. Can you do the math, Tanya? Tanya will do it in her head, right? No? You can't be a bona fide Croatian if you can't do that in your head. So, how many disciples will each one of us have? 8 billion divided by 10 million. It's just moving some zeros around, right? Well, if we only had to preach to 10 million, we'd only need one disciple. If we preached to 100 million, we'd need 10. So it's 800, right? Is that right? 830. Did I get it right? Is it 800? We each have to have 830 disciples. Is that correct?
Gurudev, can you spotlight your video or make me co-host and I can do it?
I can do it on mine.
Oh, great.
I put speaker view. Well, how do I do spotlight? I go on my video.
On your video, yeah, on the
The
top.
spotlight for everyone. There I am. Always wanted to be in the spotlight. My goal of life. So, Tanya, how you have a calculator there? Should I do it? We're just trying to see how many disciples you all are going to have to fulfill Prabhupada's order.
The point I'm trying to get at is that
Hold on.
Hare Krishna, everyone. You are listening to the Late Morning Program with Namras Pod.
It doesn't want to go away. Hare Krishna. Okay. 8. 8 billion divided by 10 million equals 800. So I said 8.2 or 3. I did in my head. Okay. I just did that to show you I'm a genius. There was no other reason for me to do that. I must have been Indian in my last life that I could calculate in my head like that. But that was easy calculation. So you all have to have 830 disciples. Okay. So if you all live another 50 years, that means you should like 16, 17 new people you take under your wing every year, and then by the time you're my age, you'll have 800. What do you think? You don't have to initiate them unless, Okay, that's a problem though. When you're older and you've been their guru for 50 years, they're going to want to take initiation from you. It's a trap. Anyway, this is what Prabhupada wants us to do. So face up to it, ladies and gentlemen. This is what Prabhupada created ISKCON for us to take care of people. Okay, so now we're reading an offering in which the story of Putana came up. And you remember we had talked about Putana. She tried to kill Krishna, but she got the position of mother. And so in this offering, Giriraj Swami is saying, well, like you're not like Putana, but like Putana, no, you're not like Putana. You're like Krishna, that you see the good in everyone. So just as Krishna took Putana as a mother, you take everyone. You see what's good in them. So he writes, you said that it is a mark of a good man that he sees the good side, not the bad side of others. You gave the example of your Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta had a disciple named Kunja Bihari. People used to call him Kunja Babu, who you said came to do business with your Guru Maharaj. To profit personally from his relationship with him and from his service to the Gaudiya Math. Doesn't sound good, does it? Kick him out. Get rid of him. He's coming to take advantage. But you said that your Guru Maharaj didn't focus on Kunja's dark side, that he was coming to make business, but on his bright side, that he was coming to offer service. Hare Krishna. That's amazing, don't you think? I think, we have, it's difficult to understand the mentality of someone like this on this level, right? Someone's coming to take advantage of your movement and you're just seeing the service side. That's amazing, right? We need more of that, don't you think, in our movement, in your heart? Don't you think you need more of that? Seeing the good, overlooking the bad. I don't even think Bhaktisiddhanta overlooked the bad. I don't think he saw it, actually. Or if he saw it, it's like it didn't, sometimes you see something, but it doesn't register. There's nowhere in your consciousness that that's even important. So I was meditating on this. Right? This is like such an important point, because so many of the problems that we face in relationships are because we're focused on the bad more than the good. And the solution is focusing more on the good than the bad. So this is, pretty extreme. He's actually coming to use the Gaudiya Math to further his material position. Now, what I have to say is he did serve the Gaudiya Math. He did help it a lot. He was one of the main persons who broadcast, who made Bhaktisiddhanta popular. So he was seeing that's what he's doing. And at one time they said, he's stealing money. And Bhaktisiddhanta said, yeah, but he's not stealing as much as it would cost to pay someone to do what he's doing. So somehow or other, he was okay with it, which, could you imagine, what kind of controversy that must have, or problem that must have created in Gaudiya Math, and he's okay with it. Wow, crazy. And I'm not saying, okay, if somebody comes to ISKCON and steals money, just make sure you give him Mahaprasad and be nice to them. But I'm not even talking about practically. I'm talking philosophically now, just understanding this principle. It's amazing. So Giriraj Swami is saying, it's like Krishna with Bhutana. He just sees the mother and rewards her for being a mother. And Prabhupada, and you were like that with us. You took the good. So that's, obviously there are different practical situations that we have to deal with. We don't overlook situations when devotees are being harmed or hurt. We deal with it. But this is just, sometimes you have to discuss things philosophically, devoid of putting it in any context that's going on, so you can just get the concept. Because if you look at it through a specific filter, you won't get the concept because it won't make sense. So how can you say that? Because, just yesterday in our temple, someone stole money, and so we kicked him out. Okay, that's fine. That's what you need to do for whatever reason. Or you could embrace him and just, give him gulabs and say, please give the money back. Whatever your strategy is, that's a different issue. So I think when we discuss something, we first need to discuss it just in theory, and then application can come according to time, place, and circumstance. And so this is just the idea that he's seeing the good. And, you go, but if you see the good in this person, he'll end up abusing people. Yeah, that's a fact, but we're not talking about that right now. We're just talking about the principle. Is that okay? I don't want to get in trouble, because I understand that, you can't just embrace, thieves left and right, and people who are trying to cheat ISKCON or destroy it. We can't embrace them. That's for sure. But this devotee was actually doing tremendous service. It's just he was siphoning money from Gaudiya Math, and he ended up getting Gaudiya Math property, at least one in his name, of his own organization. So Hare Krishna. But my realization in this is, like, when you're talking about how practically to deal with someone in some situation, it's a separate situation. It's a separate topic from this topic of appreciating and seeing the good. All right, I see the good in you, Tanya, but you did steal the money. So you got an appointment down at the police department right now, because I just called them. So then Tanya's like, well, if you appreciate me, why'd you call the police department? I said, well, I called the police department because I'm afraid you're going to steal everything else in the temple. But as a Vaishnava, I appreciate all the service you did. So, sometimes it's hard to balance both, but that's actually, like we talk about that in the forgiveness workshop. Okay, you hurt me. I appreciate you're a devotee, and you're trying your best, and you're struggling. I just, you hurt me, and I don't want to be hurt again. So I have boundaries. So, all right, that's a personal decision. But you can still appreciate the person that they're struggling and they're trying, they're a sincere devotee. They just, they're challenged. So I think, it's important to isolate these points. Otherwise, sometimes it doesn't make sense. You go, look at that point. If we all felt like that, people would take advantage of ISKCON. And certainly Prabhupada doesn't want us to allow people to take advantage of ISKCON. And Prabhupada kicked someone out of ISKCON who stole. Well, he kicked him out the second time he stole. He gave him a chance the first time. Gave him a chance the first time and told him, if you steal again, we'll call the police. And then they caught him the second time, and that's what Prabhupada did. So does it mean that Prabhupada doesn't appreciate this person or is not seeing the good? No, it just means he appreciates the property of ISKCON and doesn't want it to be stolen. One time there was someone who was cooking in Mayapur, and the person was going home, and they had some ghee that they had taken from the kitchen. And Prabhupada saw it. He goes, grab him, get him. You know, Prabhupada is very sensitive to, you know, taking care of Krishna's property. So, you know, we have to kind of, sometimes you have to compartmentalize philosophical ideas and, you know, digest them in a compartment and then think, okay, well, how is this going to apply in every situation? Because one of the things that I understand that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta is teaching by these things, it's like he's saying, okay, look at how I'm thinking. You might want to think that way also. That's basically what he's saying. And also, you know, when something is going very much in one direction and it's too far, it's out of balance, sometimes you'll stretch it like way on the other side out of balance because you have to bring it back. But if this were here, you would never go this far. You would never say these things because it's here. You wouldn't have to. But when it goes here, sometimes you might say something very, very heavy, right? So I think that's what I read into a lot of statements of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, that sometimes I get the sense that there was a lot of criticism going on, and he wanted to balance it by saying or acting in ways that maybe wouldn't be the best in every situation, but he wanted to communicate an idea. So he's definitely communicating the idea here of appreciation. And Giriraj Swami is saying that this was Prabhupada's nature. And then he tells a story. What's the story? Oh, yeah. Some devotee was, I think, smoking marijuana, and it came to Prabhupada. So Prabhupada told the secretary, tell him if he doesn't stop, I will reject him. So the devotee says, Prabhupada,
El devoto dijo, Prabhupada,
would you ever reject a disciple?
¿alguna vez rechazarías a un
I would never
discípulo?
reject.
No,
said,
nunca lo haría.
You know, I have to say that,
Tengo que decir esto
because I don't know how to get him to, I want him to stop. So I
porque
have to
quiero
say that.
que lo deje de hacer.
So, you know, Prabhupada would never reject anybody.
Prabhupada nunca
Only by the
rechazaría a
behavior
nadie,
of a
solo
person
por el
would that
comportamiento de
person
la
be
persona.
rejected. Okay, you know, if this is how you think,
Así es
this is
como
what you
piensas,
say, then you won't fit. I can't help you anymore.
Entonces no te puedo
That's
ayudar más.
The guru says, I can't help you. It's a kind of rejection. I don't know what to
Porque
do
si
for you.
el
I
guru
can't
te
help
dice que no te puede
you.
ayudar,
You're
es como un
lost.
tipo de
You're
rechazo
gone.
y
You're
entonces
finished.
estás
You know, it's
perdido.
like, and you won't listen to me, so I can't help you.
No me
So
escuches a
it's
mí
not that
porque
the
yo no
guru is
puedo
rejecting
ayudarte.
the disciple,
No es que el
but he's
gurú
helping the disciple because, you know, it's a time management issue. You know,
es un
why spend time with
problema
someone who doesn't
de
listen?
manejo de
Right?
tiempo.
You know,
Todos
I've got other
queremos
things to do, other people to help that will listen.
Queremos
So
ayudar
it's a
a
bit like
personas que
that.
sí van a escuchar.
So he's just he's showing that no matter
Entonces
what a
está
devotee does,
mostrando que
Prabhupada
no
would never
importa
reject
lo
him,
que
unless the devotee
devoto
himself
haga,
rejected Prabhupada
Prabhupada no
or
lo va a
became
rechazar.
offensive to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, okay, this is not going to work.
Pero Prabhupada luego vio que
And
los
there were
devotos estaban
cases
siendo
like that when
ofensivos y dijo, bueno,
former
eso no va a
disciples came
funcionar.
and they were offensive, and Prabhupada just said, leave,
Eran
go.
ofensivos y
Okay.
entonces
So then-
Prabhupada les dijo, bueno, está bien, váyanse.
Then Giriraj Swami tells another
Giriraj
story.
Swami
There was a
cuenta
man
otra historia, que
who
había
used
un
to
hombre
meet Prabhupada
que
in Mumbai
solía verse con
on the
Prabhupada en
beach when they
Mumbai,
would go for
Bombay,
walks, and
en
sometimes
una
this
playa
man
que
would
solía
argue,
caminar. Y a veces este hombre
and he would get this man would get
discutía.
really upset.
Y este hombre se
And
molestaba mucho
he had a weak heart, and
porque
his friends would say,
tenía
"Don't
un
get so
corazón
upset. You have a weak
débil.
heart. You could have a
Y
heart
sus
attack."
amigos le
You know,
decían,
it
no
was-
te molestes
he
tanto,
was-
tienes un
he
corazón
knew a
débil,
lot,
porque él sabía
but he had
mucho,
Mayavad tendencies,
pero
and
tenía tendencias
kind of
mayavadis
general Hindu tendencies.
y
It's,
tenía
you know, if you say
tendencias
Krishna is
hindús
God
en
and others aren't,
generales.
they could get
Y porque decía
upset, or
Krishna
if you
es Dios y
condemn
los demás no.
Mayavadis, why are you condemning? Why are you criticizing?
Y él decía, ¿por qué condenas a los
So
mayavadis?
devotees would ask
Así
Prabhupada,
que los
why
devotos le preguntaron a
you know,
Prabhupada, ¿por qué
do you tolerate this
¿Por qué
person?
toleras a esta persona?
And Prabhupada said,
Y Prabhupada dijo,
Prabhupada said, okay, I'll read what he said. It is our
Voy a
duty
leerlo.
to engage everyone.
nuestro deber es involucrar a todos.
Mm. And there was an article.
Ya hay
The Bombay
había
doctor,
un
this man's a doctor,
artículo.
wins the title Big Fool, and he
El-
loves it. Prabhupada used to call
El
him Big
médico de
Fool.
Bombay gana este título de un gran tonto.
Mm. So, so Prabhupada was tolerant with this
Prabhupada
person,
era tolerante con esta persona
and he was saying that this
y él
person
estaba
is like,
diciendo que esta persona
he's a devotee, but
es un
sometimes he acts like a
devoto, pero a
Mayavadi
veces
because of the
actúa como
association with
mayavadi
Mayavadis. And
debido a la asociación con los mayavadis.
he's many people in one.
Es
Let
muchas
us give
personas
him a
en una.
chance. You know, even though
Démosle
he's
una
preaching
oportunidad.
Mayavad,
Está,
speaking, arguing with Prabhupada,
aunque está
let us give him a
discutiendo con
chance.
Prabhupada y tiene
So
tendencias
this
mayavadis,
verse
démosle una
about
oportunidad.
Putana,
Así que este verso sobre
it's a verse in
Putana
which
es un verso en el cual
Putana is used as an
Putana
example
se usa como un ejemplo
to show how merciful Krishna is.
para
And the
mostrar
verse
qué
says,
tan misericordioso Krishna es.
since you're so merciful,
Y ya
who
que
else
eres,
should I take shelter of?
y ya
Who
que
is there
eres
more
tan
merciful a person to take shelter
misericordioso, ¿de
than
quién
you?
más puedo tomar refugio?
So Girashwami
Así
keeps
que
using,
Girashwami
going back to this verse
sigue yendo,
describing
regresando a
the
este
same
verso
thing
y
about
describiendo lo
Prabhupada.
mismo
You
sobre
did this.
Prabhupada. Tú
Who's more merciful?
hiciste
Who
esto, ¿quién
is
es
there to
más,
take shelter of? That
quién
could be
es
more
más
merciful than you.
misericordioso? ¿De quién más
So
puedo
there's
tomar
one more
refugio?
story.
Entonces hay una historia más.
Hold on. No. Mhm. Yeah. No. Mm. Oh yeah. I was looking for this. It said,
Estaba
you know,
buscando esto.
this Dr.
Dice,
Patel,
este
sometimes
Dr.
it seemed like
Patel
he was a devotee, and
había
sometimes it
parecía,
seemed like he was a
a
Mayavadi.
veces parecía que era un devoto, a veces parecía que era un mayavadi.
So Prabhupada was asked, like, what is he? And
Prabhupada le
Prabhupada told a
preguntó qué
story.
es y
He said,
Prabhupada
well, there was once a man
Prabhupada contó una
who spoke
historia.
many
Una
languages,
vez un hombre que
and he
hablaba
would speak
muchas
the language
lenguas
of the people he was with, so
y
nobody
hablaba,
actually knew what his native tongue was.
y hablaba
And they wanted to
el
find out.
idioma de las personas en las que estaban
So
y
once
nadie sabía cuál era su lengua
someone
materna
came
y
up
alguien
from
quería saber.
behind him and
Y alguien vino
smashed
detrás
him
de
in the
él
ears, and the man started cursing, and so he understood. He's going to curse in his native language.
y le vino detrás de
So he
las
said that's how
orejas
they found
y,
out
y le
how,
aplastó las orejas
what his
y
native
empezó
language is. And so Prabhupada
a
said,
maldecir y entonces
when
pudieron
I get-
saber cuál era
when I get heavy with
su lengua
this
materna.
Dr. Patel,
Y Prabhupada dijo, cuando me
then he
ponga,
becomes a Mayavadi.
cuando me
So he
pongo
said, heart, he's really a
fuerte,
Mayavadi. And he
cuando,
seems like a devotee, he
cuando
seems
soy
like a
duro
good
con
Hindu,
este doctor
but
Patel,
when
entonces se
I
vuelve
call
un
him a
mayavadi.
rascal, he becomes a Mayavadi. So that's how we know.
Así
Funny
es
story.
así es como sabemos qué es más.
So again,
De
the
nuevo,
Prabhupada was asked, why do you put
a
up with him?
Prabhupada se
And
le
Prabhupada
preguntaron
said,
por
it's our
qué
duty
lo
to engage everyone.
soportas. Y Prabhupada dijo, porque es nuestro
Amazing.
deber involucrar a todos.
Right? I know it's hard to be
Yo sé
merciful.
que es difícil ser
And
misericordioso.
we do have
Y
examples
tenemos
where Prabhupada
ejemplos
was
en los
apparently
que
not
Prabhupada
merciful because he had to protect
aparentemente
the
no
movement
fue
and protect devotees.
misericordioso
Yeah,
porque él
so if
tenía que
someone is
proteger
a
a los
rascal,
devotos. Entonces, si alguien es un pillo,
Prabhupada would be merciful,
Prabhupada era
but
misericordioso.
if he kept being a
Pero
rascal
si
or
seguía siendo un
worse,
pillo o más,
or specifically disturbing others,
o
then
específicamente
Prabhupada
perturbando a otros,
Okay, Prabhupada's always merciful.
Prabhupada siempre es
but
misericordioso,
how he acts towards a
pero
person may change.
la
The
forma en la
mercy
que
may-
actúa hacia otras personas
it
puede
may
que
not look
cambie.
like mercy.
Puede que no se vea como
But,
misericordia.
the devotee is
Un
always
devoto
merciful,
siempre
even
es
if it doesn't look
misericordioso,
like mercy.
incluso
Right?
aunque parezca que no lo
It's
es.
like, that story when
¿Saben esa historia?
Thakur Haridas was put
Thakur
in prison
Haridas
for the
fue
crime
puesto
of chanting
en-
Hare
en
Krishna. For
la-
a
en prisión
Muslim is chanting Hare
por
Krishna,
cantar
that's
Hare
like he should
Krishna
be
siendo
arrested for
musulmán.
that, right? That crime.
Ese crimen.
So the prisoners were pretty
Entonces
happy.
los
They thought,
prisioneros
here's the
están
sadhu,
muy
by
felices.
his
Aquí hay un
power,
sadhu y por su poder
he can get us out of prison.
él puede sacarnos de la prisión.
Thakur Haridas
Y Thakur
basically saying,
Haridas
I'm not going to let
básicamente
you out of prison.
dijo, no, yo no te puedo sacar de la
You're
prisión.
like, you have to follow principles in prison. You leave prison, you'll just be degraded again. So,
Tienes que seguir principios en la
so
prisión,
that was his
pero cuando
mercy
salgas
to
vas a
not
seguir con
do
lo mismo.
anything to get them out of prison.
Y entonces no hizo nada para sacarlos de la prisión.
So mercy comes in different packages.
Así que
So
la
here's a
misericordia viene en
statement I
diferentes
wanted to read.
paquetes. Aquí hay una afirmación que quiero
This
que
is,
lean.
Yeah. This is from Hridayananda Maharaj.
Esto es de Hridayananda Maharaj.
Just as Lord Krishna commanded Arjuna,
Así
this
como
be
el
my
Señor
instrument,
Krishna
Bhagavad
comandó
Gita
a
11:33.
Arjuna que fuera
Bhagavad
su
Gita.
instrumento en el
So,
Bhagavad Gita. Así
You urged us to try to
nos-
become Krishna's instruments.
nos pides con
Just as
urgencia
Lord
que
Krishna
nos
himself had already
volvamos los
slain the
instrumentos de
warriors
Krishna.
whom urged Arjuna to fight. So you reveal to us,
Entonces nos revelas
Lord Chaitanya has already spread
el
his
Señor
Sankirtan
Chaitanya
movement around the world.
ya ha esparcido el movimiento de
In
Sankirtan
Bhagavad
alrededor del
Gita,
mundo.
Krishna was
En
encouraging
Bhagavad
Arjuna to
Gita
fight by
estaba
saying,
alentando a Arjuna a pelear.
I've already
Estaba
arranged
diciendo, ya
the
arreglé
battle.
el campo de
Whether you
batalla.
fight or not,
Así que si
they're
tú
gonna
peleas
die.
o no, van a
You
morir.
fight,
Si peleas,
then you're doing what I want you to
entonces
do.
tú
which is
estás
good
haciendo
for
lo
you.
que yo quiero que
Plus,
hagas.
you'll get acknowledged as the great warrior.
Y
who-
vas a ser reconocido
won
como
the
un gran
battle.
guerrero que ganó la
So,
batalla.
So then Prabhupada
Y luego
says
Prabhupada
to
dice
Hridayananda
a
Maharaj.
Hridayananda Maharaj.
No, then Prabhupada continues.
Prabhupada continúa.
He urged Arjuna to fight, so
Él le-
you revealed to us that Lord Chaitanya has
Él le
already
pidió-
spread his Sankirtan movement around the world.
Él le
Arjuna
pidió
had only
que
to
a
fight
Arjuna
a war already won by Krishna, and
que
we have only to
peleara
spread a
en la
Sankirtan movement
guerra
that
y
Lord
el Señor
Krishna
Chaitanya ya
himself has already
ya
spread.
esparció el movimiento de
Prabhupada said
Sankirtan.
to him,
Entonces nos estás perdiendo que participemos
Why
en,
don't you take the credit?
en algo que ya
Otherwise, Lord
está
Krishna will give the
establecido.
credit to other devotees.
Y le dice,
And
¿por qué no
actually,
tomas
Prabhupada said
el
this in a
crédito?
class
Sino
that
el crédito
I was in.
va a ir a otros devotos.
So he would say that. I
Entonces,
think
él
he said it
decía-
even more than twice.
Él lo dijo más de
Like,
2 veces.
Lord Chaitanya
El
wants
Señor
this movement
Chaitanya
spread.
quiere que se
He
esparza este
needs people.
movimiento.
He needs volunteers.
Necesita
You
voluntarios.
know, it's like, hey, I'm making a movie. I need
Oye,
some
estoy
actors.
haciendo
Like, I'll
una
make the movie
película,
whether you
necesito actores.
volunteer to act or not. The movie's going on.
Voy
I'll
a
get
hacer
to
una
go. There
película,
will
ya
be
sea que
actors.
seas
I'm just
voluntario o
giving you
no.
the
Yo voy a
opportunity.
hacer
That's the
la
idea.
película, pero tienes la oportunidad de
Whether or
participar.
not you
Ya
like it,
sea que o no que te guste,
the movie's going on.
la película se
That's
va a
it.
dar.
But if you want to
Pero si
participate,
quieres
then you will
participar,
be
entonces
on the credits
vas a
at the end of
estar
the
en
movie.
los
Your name
créditos
will
al
be there.
final de la película.
So that's
Así que eso es
I
todo.
think an impetus to help spread Krishna consciousness.
Tomen esto como un ímpetu para esparcir la conciencia de Krishna.
Okay. Do we have a lot of questions?
Tenemos muchas preguntas.
Just, or just a lot of like what's going on questions, like why are we?
O muchas
Is
preguntas
that
de
what
qué
we
está
have
pasando.
there?
Eso es
I
lo que
guess I should
tenemos.
check.
Voy a checar.
Yeah, Gabby has a comment, Gabriela, on the
Oh.
chat.
Gaby tiene
Okay,
un
we'll take a
comentario
comment.
en el
Usually
chat.
after an hour I take a comment.
Después de 1 hora más o menos empiezo a tomar
There's only one comment.
preguntas o comentarios. ¿Solo hay un comentario?
Okay. 800. Yeah. All right. The bad news today is all of you
Las malas noticias
are going
para
to
todos
have to have
ustedes
830
es que
disciples
van a tener
before you
que
die.
tener 830
but-
830 discípulos.
If someone takes
Pero si alguien
1,660 disciples, 1,659 disciples, you only have to take one.
659
Just
solo
partner
tiene
up
que
with
tomar uno
It has
más.
a lot more. Gabriel
Gabriela
says,
dice,
I have the idea
tengo la
that
idea de que
people
las
who try to
personas
be
que
nice to
tratan de
everyone
ser amables
and
con
to try to
todos
see the best in
y
others
tratan de ver lo
are
mejor
not
en
very
otros
accepted in this
no
world,
son muy aceptadas en el mundo.
taken advantage of
Sí,
sometimes, right?
toman
Sometimes
ventaja
it
de
seems
ellos.
that the
A veces
environment
parece que el
requires you
ambiente
to put
requiere
yourself
que
in
te
favor of
pongas
some people or
en,
ideas and
en el,
against
en
others.
el, a favor de
How
algunas
devotees
personas
from
o
the
ideas
past dealt with this,
y en
how to
contra de
handle
otros.
this.
¿Cómo los devotos lidiaron con esto en el pasado?
In
¿Cómo
the present,
lidiar
when
en el
people have too
presente
many
cuando las personas
expectations of
tienen
people
muchas
and their behavior?
expectativas de las personas en su
Um,
comportamiento?
We're kind of descending in from theory to practice, and the
Estamos
practice, as I said,
descendiendo de
will
la teoría a la
differ in
práctica.
differing situations.
Y en
So
la práctica
one
vamos
rule
a
of thumb,
diferir
of
en
course,
diferentes
is
circunstancias.
what is the best for the Krishna consciousness movement.
Y por
Another rule
supuesto,
of thumb, what is best
una cosa es
for
qué
the
es lo mejor
devotees
para el
involved in this
movimiento, qué es lo mejor para
situation. Another
los devotos
rule of thumb
involucrados
is
en
what is
esto.
best for you.
Otra
Now,
cosa es considerar lo que es mejor
just
para
because
ti.
something is
Solo
best for
porque
you
algo es
doesn't
mejor
mean
para ti
actually
no
it's
significa
necessarily the
que
best
es necesariamente lo mejor.
decision to take. It may be best for
Es,
you
a
because
lo mejor es
maybe
mejor
you
para
have some
ti,
weakness or
porque a lo mejor tú
problem,
tienes
which
una
if you didn't
debilidad o un
have,
problema, que si no lo
you wouldn't be
tuvieras,
concerned
no
about the
estarías
situation or how
preocupada por
things are
esta
coming down.
situación.
So all these things have to be
Todas
taken into
estas
consideration.
cosas
But
tienen que ser consideradas.
if we go back to the
Pero si
point that I was
regresamos
making
al
is
punto que yo estaba haciendo,
what we see in the
lo que
life of
vemos
Prabhupada is
a
that
la luz de
Prabhupada
Prabhupada es que
was
Prabhupada
was so detached that he
estaba
could act
tan
anyway.
Desapegado que él podía actuar
And
de
by
cualquier
anyway,
forma
I
y
don't
en
mean
cualquier
he would
forma.
do anything, but he would do whatever was
No me
best
refiero a que él
for an
hacía lo que
individual
sea,
devotee,
sino
a
que
group of
hacía lo que
devotees,
era
and or
mejor
the
para
Krishna conscious movement.
un devoto, un
And
grupo de devotos
sometimes
o el
that
movimiento.
action
Y a
may
veces
not
esa acción
appear to be
parecía que
the
no
action
era
of a sadhu.
la acción de un sadhu.
But
Pero
Prabhupada could always
Prabhupada
explain why it was the action of a sadhu and
siempre
how
podía explicar cómo
what
si
you
era
may have
la
thought
acción de un
Prabhupada
sadhu.
was thinking or feeling or seeing in order to act that way.
Y cómo él pensaba y sentía
You
para
may have been
actuar
wrong
de esa
because it might seem
forma,
like he was
a lo
really
mejor
angry or
la
he
forma en la
was
que lo pensamos
envious
estaba
or he was critical or
equivocada,
whatever.
porque a lo mejor pensábamos, bueno,
But
él
we
era muy
understand
crítico,
from being around
pero
Prabhupada,
entendemos
we
que estando
understand
alrededor de
that he
Prabhupada,
was
entendemos que él
concerned
estaba preocupado
about Krishna, the
sobre
deity,
Krishna, sobre
or
la
the movement,
deidad o el
or the
movimiento o
devotees,
los
his
devotos, sus
disciples, the welfare
discípulos,
of others. So,
el bienestar de otros.
I don't know if you know this
No
story.
sé si
When the devotees were
conocen la
first in
historia.
India, they were
Cuando
doing a
los
program.
devotos
They were on stage, and I
fueron por
think
primera vez a India,
some people wanted the
algunas
devotees to come
personas
down and dance with them. I
querían
think the
que
previous
los
night
devotos
they had done that.
bajaran y bailaran con
And
ellos.
some men were pulling like on the saris of the devotees.
Y algunos hombres estaban jalando
Obviously, female
los
devotees.
saris de las devotas.
I don't know the details, but
No
anyway,
sé los
Prabhupada saw
detalles,
that
pero
or
Prabhupada vio
something
eso.
like that, and
Y
Prabhupada
vio-
got his cartels up, started swinging.
Y Prabhupada
Get out of here, you know, so,
empezó a girar sus
he was
cártalos
protecting his devotees.
porque estaba protegiendo a sus
From,
devotos.
you know, who knows what could happen when a man's pulling on a woman's sari? You don't know what's next.
De
Right?
lo que puede pasar cuando un hombre
So
le
you
jala
always
el sari a
protect,
una
you always
devota, ¿no?
protect the devotees,
Y
especially
entonces
if a man is
él-
pulling on a woman's sari.
él
Yeah,
protegió
definitely.
a los devotos, sobre todo si los hombres estaban jalando
So-
los saris de las devotas.
Someone may not understand that.
Alguien puede que no entienda eso.
Sometimes
A
Prabhupada
veces
chastised people in
Prabhupada
public lectures.
regañaba a
about
las
anger.
personas en
People
público
misunderstood
en
it.
las clases y las
So we
personas lo
understood
malentendían.
that
Nosotros
that
entendemos
person,
que
either
esa
that person needed to learn a
esa
lesson, the
persona
audience needed to learn the
necesitaba
lesson, and
aprender una
Prabhupada wanted to
lección,
make
la
the point
audiencia necesitaba
strongly.
aprender
That person
una
was
lección y
offending Krishna,
necesitaba,
and Prabhupada became upset out of
necesitaba
love.
hablar fuertemente.
So
A lo
you
mejor
always,
esa persona,
you
ese grupo de
always,
personas
you
estaba ofendiendo
always
a Krishna.
want to,
Siempre quieres,
if you're dealing with a
si
pure
estás
devotee,
lidiando con un
you're
devoto
always going to
puro,
want to try to
siempre vas a
understand
querer
how that
entender
action
cómo esa acción
is being generated
está siendo
by
generada
Krishna consciousness, some aspect of Krishna consciousness.
por algún
Otherwise,
aspecto
you
de
would
la
assume
conciencia de
it's
Krishna.
just the modes of nature.
De otra forma son
At
las
least when we're
modalidades de
dealing
la
with Srila
naturaleza.
Prabhupada,
Al
Srila
menos
Bhaktisiddhanta
cuando
Bhaktivinoda Thakur,
lidiamos con Prabhupada, con
understand
Srila
that there
Bhaktivedanta,
is no
con
influence of the
Bhaktivedanta
modes
Thakur.
of nature.
No
So
hay influencia de las
in their
modalidades.
pure devotees, and that
En
could only be
ellos.
coming from their pure love for Krishna.
Ellos son devotos puros y solo lo que
Then
hacen
you
viene
say, yeah, but
de
what
su
about
amor por
everybody
Krishna.
else?
Pero ¿qué hay de
Okay,
todos
give
los
them the
demás?
benefit of the doubt to
Dales
start
el
with.
beneficio de la
But,
duda para empezar.
At the same
Pero al
time,
mismo tiempo,
we have a duty to
tenemos
stand up for devotees
un
if they're being
deber,
mistreated. We should do something. But
si los devotos están
the point
siendo
that
maltratados.
I've made
El punto que yo hago
over and over again
una y
is
otra
that
vez es que
there's always this fine
siempre
line
hay una
between
línea muy fina
doing your duty
entre
and
hacer tu
slipping
deber
into the mode of ignorance.
y
Because,
e
when you
irte
get
a la
upset,
modalidad de la ignorancia, porque si tú te
that could
molestas,
cause you to
eso
offend
puede
devotees.
causar que
Or
ofendas a
or
los
it can
devotos
trigger
o puede
all kinds of
o
traumas
puede
in your life, and
incitar
then you
muchos
start,
traumas en tu vida
not acting properly.
al no actuar
So I think that's important
apropiadamente.
to understand.
Entonces esto es
I
importante de
find
entender.
that
Yo
I think we all find this,
encuentro,
and
todos
it's
encontramos
interesting to
esto que es
ponder.
interesante.
I have a really difficult time
Yo
when
tengo,
devotees are mistreated.
es difícil
It
para mí
triggers something in me
cuando
very deeply.
los devotos son maltratados. Eso
And
hace,
I
saca algo de mí
actually
muy
have to control
profundamente,
myself,
porque yo me
otherwise
tengo
I
que
could
controlar a mí
easily
mismo,
offend the
porque
devotee who
por-
is offending
porque
or
fácilmente
misbehaving.
puedo ofender al
Because
devoto que está causando
It's an
esto.
integrity issue with me.
Porque
You're a
es-
devotee, you should act this way.
Es un problema
or
de
you're, and it
integridad
gets worse the
conmigo,
higher
porque
you
tú
go up.
eres un devoto,
You're a
entonces
leader, you
tienes
should
que
act this
actuar
way.
así.
You're a guru, you
Y
should act this way.
si eres un
So I
líder,
have
tienes que
triggers
actuar
around
así. O si
which
eres un gurú,
could
tienes que actuar de
trigger
esta forma.
bad behavior on my part. So then I'm condemning somebody
Yo estoy
for bad behavior, and now I'm acting with bad behavior. Okay,
condenando a alguien
that
por un
doesn't
mal
make any sense.
comportamiento y entonces yo estoy involucrándome en un mal
anytime
comportamiento. No tiene sentido.
There's a
Entonces,
situation
cada
that
vez que hay
really
una
upsets you,
situación que te
I would
moleste,
suggest
yo sugeriría
to just like go hit the pause button and ask the question, why is this upsetting me so much?
que te
And,
detengas y apretes el botón de pausa y digas,
reflect
¿por qué
on
me
it.
estoy
It's like,
molestando por
this
esto? Reflexiones
has
al
triggered
respecto.
something in me
Esto ha hecho
that I
surgir
need
algo
to
en
work
mí,
on or be
en lo que
aware of or
necesito
heal or whatever, however you
sanar, o
want
en
to
lo que
deal with it.
necesito atender,
At least
o en
begin
lo que
with
necesito
awareness.
reflexionar.
And that
Por lo
trigger
menos
could then
empezar
cause me
en ser consciente de
to
ello. Y esto
say the wrong thing,
está causando
make an
que
offense to
yo
someone,
diga algo
make
incorrecto, esté ofendiendo a alguien,
improper
o
suggestion of
esté
how to resolve
haciendo
the situation,
una sugerencia inapropiada de
mistreat, and
cómo
so forth.
resolver
So then
esto.
I could easily end up
Entonces,
mistreating
fácilmente puedo acabar
somebody
maltratando a alguien
for mistreating
por,
somebody else.
por
that's my
maltratar a alguien
response.
más en mi
You
respuesta.
understand what I'm saying.
Tú
The
entiendes lo
medicine
que
is
estoy
often
diciendo.
worse than the
La
disease.
medicina a veces es
But I think
peor
this is
que la
really
enfermedad.
important, and we all see things in
Todos
ISKCON
vemos
and in
cosas
our
en
lives that
ISKCON y
are
en nuestra
upsetting.
vida que
But some
que
things
nos
are more
molestan.
upsetting than others,
Pero
right?
algunas
Isn't it?
cosas son más
And I
molestas que
think
otras, ¿no es así?
it's easy
Y
to connect the dots, right?
yo pienso que es
If
fácil
you were
conectar los
abused in a
puntos.
certain way and
Si
you see
tú-
another person
si-
being abused in
si
that
tú
way,
fuiste
that's
abusado de
upsetting. There's
cierta
no
forma
question.
y
We
tú,
all understand
y tú
why, because
fuiste
you were
abusado
abused that
también,
way. You're
entonces
sensitive to that.
es molesto y eres
You
sensible
know,
hacia ello.
And in one sense,
Y
there's
en un
nothing wrong with
sentido,
that,
no hay nada de malo en
as long
ello.
as you recognize this
Siempre y
is why I
cuando
feel this way.
reconozcas,
Because I've
por
been
eso
through
me
this,
siento
and
así, porque
this could
yo
take me.
atravesé por esto.
It'd be a lot. It could take a
Y
lot of
puede
healing
tomar
before I get over this, if I ever get
mucho
over it. And maybe I
para
never will get
superarlo,
over
y
it.
a lo mejor nunca lo voy a superar.
But
Pero
at least let me be
al
aware of it,
menos voy
so
a
that
estar
when I'm in this
consciente de esto
situation,
para que
I
cuando
don't
esté en
say
esta
something that I will
situación,
regret, or I don't treat
no
somebody
diga algo
in the
de
wrong
lo que me
way.
arrepienta o no trate a alguien de la
And so
forma
this is
incorrecta.
really
Entonces,
important.
esto
This
es
is
muy importante.
very, very common. And
Esto es muy común.
then what happens is
Y
the
luego lo que
issues
pasa
get
es que los problemas
clouded, because
se
now it's
nublan,
your
porque
issue
ahora es
more
tu
than the
problema,
issue of what's
más
happening.
que
It's all being
el
filtered through
problema
your
de
own
lo que está
trauma.
pasando. Es un
And all of a
reflejo de tu
sudden, the
propio trauma.
perpetrator, what he
Y
did
luego el
is like
perpetuador
much
lo que
worse than what he
obtiene
actually did, because
es mucho
his
peor,
what he did is a catalyst for your own trauma. Now you
porque
see it
lo que
in that
hizo
heightened
es un
emotional state,
catalizador
so
de
it
tu
looks
propio
worse.
trauma.
Not always, but it can. At least it's a possibility to be
Al
aware
menos
of
es
that could
posible.
happen, right? So I know, for
Yo
example,
sé, por ejemplo,
some devotees
algunos devotos,
either due to past samskaras or having
debido a samskaras
parents were very heavy,
pasados o que sus
very
padres eran muy fuertes con
anti-authority.
ellos,
It
son
was just like they can't deal with
anti-autoridad.
authority.
No pueden lidiar
Which
con la
is-
autoridad.
It's
Lo
a bit of a
cual
challenge
es
since,
un
we
reto
have authorities
porque
in ISKCON,
tenemos
like
autoridades
Shastras, sadhus,
en
gurus. It's
ISKCON
really a
como
challenge if
Shastras,
you have a
sadhus,
problem with
gurus.
authority.
Entonces
Because
es
if
un
you want to get
problema
initiated, like
porque
sometimes I
si
joke,
quieres
like,
ser
why do you want to get
iniciado,
initiated? Then you're supposed to actually do what this person says.
porque
And what
si
if you
quieres ser
don't
iniciado
agree with what they
tienes
say?
que
You're gonna
hacer
tell
lo que
them,
esa persona
I
te
think you're
diga.
stupid. I'm not going to do that. You know, you can't do that. You know,
No
you're in a
puedes hacer
movement
eso,
where
estás
that's
en un
just not the
movimiento
culture.
donde no es la cultura de que no vas a hacer lo que él te diga.
So, you know,
Entonces,
if you have
si
issues
tienes
with
problemas con
authorities
la
or
autoridad
following
o
instructions or
seguir una
whatever,
instrucción o
it's
lo
good
que
to be
sea,
aware.
es
This could
bueno
be a
estar
potential problem, and I
consciente.
could offend
Esto
somebody
puede ser
inadvertently just
un
because
problema y
they
tengo que
told
estar
me
consciente
something
de esto.
that I didn't think was correct.
Me dijeron,
And, you know, I've been told
me han
I've been
dicho,
misled by authorities in the
me
past,
han
and
mal
it's,
dirigido por las
subconsciously
autoridades y
what's coming out
subconscientemente
now
lo
is
que está saliendo de
the
mí
trauma is being reacted.
es
And I'm,
ese
you know,
trauma que está
and
reaccionando.
I'm attacking
Y
this
estoy
person
atacando a
when,
esta
when I
persona
actually should
cuando de
heal
hecho debería
the
sanar
trauma
el
from the
trauma
person who attacked me
de
10
la
years ago.
persona que
Then I
me
wouldn't attack this
lastimó
person.
hace
So,
unos años.
like I said,
Como dije,
I'm not holding anybody liable to be perfect,
no estoy
but I will
pretendiendo
hold
que
you
alguien
liable to be
sea
aware,
perfecto,
and
pero
I will
sí que
hold you
estén
liable to
conscientes
control
y
your
sí
responses. I
que
think
puedan controlar sus
that much we
respuestas.
can be liable for.
Eso sí
I
podemos
understand. We've all
contar
been
con
through
que seamos así.
like all kinds of
Todos,
stuff,
todos hemos
isn't it?
atravesado por
In our
muchas
lives.
cosas, ¿no es así?
You know, I mean, we all go through trauma all
Todos
the time.
atravesamos
Little bit,
por trauma,
big,
poco, mucho,
from the top of ISKCON down to the bottom. You know,
desde arriba de
you're
ISKCON
trying to serve,
hasta
and then, you
el
know,
fondo. Tratas
groups
de,
of devotees turned against you.
tratas de
I've seen
servir y
this happen
grupos
to
de
God brothers.
devotos están en contra de ti.
You know,
Yo lo he visto
they're
con
the
hermanos
devotees that
espirituales.
made everyone
Ellos,
devotees, and all the devotees they
ellos,
made turned against them, or most of them.
ellos son los devotos que hicieron devotos y esos
What
devotos
does
están
that
en
do to you?
contra
You know,
de él.
how do
¿Eso qué
you
hace
heal from
contigo?
that? Do you
¿Cómo
ever heal from that?
sanas? ¿Cómo sanas de eso? Si es que
Sridhar
alguna vez
Maharaj said
sanas.
that, you know, when he
Hirananda Maharaj
became a
dijo cuando
guru,
él se volvió gurú,
at a certain point,
en
there was a
cierto punto
culture of
había una
kind
cultura
of like hatred
de
towards
odio
any of those original 11, you know, because it looked like they had stolen the movement from Prabhupada. And he said that
por medio de los que
he never did or subscribed
empezaron
to any of those
siendo gurús
behaviors that
porque
maybe
decían
other
no es que
gurus
ellos
had
habían
done
robado
that,
el movimiento
that
de Prabhupada,
indicated they were trying to belittle Prabhupada.
que
He
estaban
said, but he got
tratando de ser
condemned for it.
pequeños Prabhupads,
And
pero
maybe even
fueron
to this day with
condenados.
Ritvix. And then he said
Luego dijo,
something. He's, you know, obviously it's senior advanced devotee. He
obviamente,
said, I don't know if I'll ever recover from this trauma. I was deeply hurt by it.
obviamente un
And he
devoto
said, and
mayor
it
y dijo yo
affects
no
me.
sé
It affects
si
my participation in ISKCON.
esto va
So here we're
voy a
seeing
superarlo alguna vez y
senior,
afecta mi
very
participación en
renounced
ISKCON.
person, very intelligent
Y
person.
él es una persona
So
muy
we're all affected by
renunciante
it.
y muy inteligente,
But
y
he's
así
still
que
in ISKCON. He
todos
didn't leave.
somos
He's
afectados
still
por ello,
working
pero él
in a
él
system that
sigue
sometimes
en
works
ISKCON
against him. So that's my point.
y
You know?
está en un sistema en el que
You
trabajaba
recognize the
antes en
trauma,
contra
you
de él.
understand
Reconoces
why,
el
you know,
trauma
why
y
am I
reconoces
behaving
por
this
qué
way?
estoy comportándome de esta forma
And you
y luego,
at least
al menos,
behave properly.
te
Although
comportas
internally you may be a
apropiadamente.
mess.
Aunque internamente puede que
And
seas
you
un
know you're a
desastre,
mess,
pero
and you
sabes que
know
eres
you
un
got triggered by
desastre
this.
y
But
sabes
as
que
long as you
esto
understand you
te
got triggered, you can
hizo surgir
say,
algunas
okay,
cosas,
I just have to calm
sí,
down
tengo
before
que
I
calmarme
go on Facebook and make my
antes,
statement about what's
antes,
going on in ISKCON,
antes de ir a Facebook y
internationally
poner
or locally or whatever.
una afirmación de lo que está pasando en ISKCON localmente o internacionalmente.
I think you can all understand
Yo
this.
creo que
I think
todos
it's pretty
ustedes
clear,
entienden
right?
esto.
This is happening to everybody.
Esto les sucede a
It happens to
todos.
me all the time
A
when
mí me
devotees are
pasa todo el
mistreated.
tiempo cuando los devotos
my
son
God.
maltratados, oh Dios mío.
And I think some of you
Y
know
es-
that. You've probably heard me say things.
Y ustedes probablemente me han escuchado
Whenever a
decir
devotee is
cosas
unfairly treated,
cuando los
it's
devotos
like-
son
it's just-
maltratados
I
injustamente.
don't know why.
No sé por qué.
I don't think I was ever unfairly. Well, maybe I was.
Yo no sé si fui
yeah.
maltratado. Tal vez
You've
sí.
been in
yo
ISKCON long enough. You've
Sí.
probably been unfairly treated
Estoy-
somewhere. And sometimes. Yeah, I was
Has
actually
estado en ISKCON
not allowed to
bastante
come back
tiempo, a
to
lo
a temple
mejor
that I was the
sí,
president
sí
of.
fuiste maltratado.
Well, that's kind of unfair, right?
Eso.
Hare Krishna. And it didn't get better after I left also. You know, that makes it worse. So, and other things, you know, relationships break
También
up, people leave you.
las relaciones
It's traumatizing, isn't it?
se van,
then,
o
you
las
know,
personas
it's
te
like,
dejan.
Okay, I don't want
Y eso
any
es
relationship. You know,
traumático.
some devotees
Ya no
don't want
quiero
to be
tener
gurus. They don't
ninguna
want
relación.
relationships because they've been traumatized by religion. I don't want to get that close to people. You know, I can't have a
Algunas,
disciple and give
algunos,
them my love and affection, and then 10 years
algunos,
later they go off and they're,
algunos devotos no quieren
you
ser
know,
gurús porque
drinking,
no pueden
clubbing,
acercarse a las personas,
discoing.
no
You know,
pueden
this, you know, I
darles.
can't. I won't be able to
¿Cómo
deal
les
with
voy
it.
a poder dar
So
mi
it's
amor
not
y
going to
mi
happen.
atención? Entonces
So you
no
know,
puedo
we're all
hacerlo, no
affected.
voy a
You know,
tener
it's not easy. That's a
ninguno.
fact.
Todos somos afectados y eso es un hecho.
Hare Krishna. I don't know how we got on that. What
No
was I
sé.
reading that?
No sé cómo llegamos ahí. ¿Qué estaba
Get-
leyendo?
No, that you were answering a question from
Oh, question.
Gabriela.
Okay. The mad professor got somewhere, but he didn't know how he got there.
El profesor de
Now,
matemáticas
the
llegó a un
next
lugar,
question
pero
I
no
have is,
supo
Gabriela,
cómo
did that
llegó.
answer your question, or did I
Gabriela,
totally go off
¿eso
on
respondió
something that didn't
tu
answer?
pregunta o no?
Can we take this, the next question, can we take this as
La
Krishna's
siguiente,
mercy?
¿podemos
Depend
tomar
on
esto
more on him?
como la misericordia de Krishna para depender más de él?
This is,
él.
I don't know, this is it's a bit of a sensitive issue to call something Krishna's mercy.
Esto es un
Right.
tema
I
delicado,
just
llamarle
cut
algo
my
la
finger. Was it
misericordia
Krishna's
de
mercy?
Krishna. Yo me corté el
Well, I was
dedo.
thinking it was
Fue
it
la
probably
misericordia
was,
de Krishna.
karmically I should have cut my hand off or my arm, and Krishna said, "Oh yeah." just
Tal
do it."
vez karmáticamente
And it was like
me tenía
gushing blood, like gallons of blood, you know.
me
but
tenía
it
que
doesn't
cortar la
hurt. I
mano
can't figure out
y
how do
la
you
misericordia de Krishna
cut
fue
your finger
cortar
like
el
that, and
dedo
it
y
just
salió un montón de
cut
sangre.
right through the nail and a bunch of skin.
Oh, y cortó a través de la uña y
And
de
it hurt for
la,
like
de la piel.
hardly at all. It doesn't hurt now.
Y ahorita
I'm
ya no
afraid to
duele.
look at it because
Te-
then I'll faint. If I
Me
look
da
at it. But,
miedo verlo porque si no me
you know,
voy a
then I was
desmayar.
thinking,
Estaba pensando,
maybe I was supposed to cut my hand off.
a lo
you know,
mejor
so,
se suponía que me debía de cortar la mano, pero
if I'm sitting there, I'm in pain. I just cut my finger. I
Pero
did
si
something
estoy
stupid.
sentada y
He says,
digo,
I don't
oh,
think you
estoy
could class.
adolorido, me acabo de cortar el dedo.
Gurudev, it's Krishna's mercy. Just
Gurudev,
relax.
es la
Just
misericordia de
calm down.
Krishna,
It's
solo
Krishna's mercy, right?
tranquilízate.
Okay. So, in answer to
Así
your
que,
question,
respondiendo a tu pregunta,
it's such an interesting
es
discussion
una
because you
una
have
discusión interesante porque
philosophy,
tienes la filosofía
and you
y
have
tienes
compassion,
la
and philosophy
compasión. Y la
can
filosofía
trump compassion sometimes,
puede
right? Because
puede derribar a la
this
compasión a
sounds funny
veces,
to you, right? What I
porque
just said.
esto suena gracioso.
Gurudev,
Lo que les acabo de decir,
Mahatma
oh,
Prabhu,
Gurudev, Mahatma
you're not
Prabhu,
the body.
no
Get
eres
over
el
it.
cuerpo,
It's
ya
right there.
supéralo.
Haven't you read Bhagavad
¿No
Gita?
has leído el
Like,
Bhagavad
what's wrong?
Gita?
You know that
¿Qué
shloka,
te
right?
pasa? Tú
Dehi
sabes
Nashmi
ese
Gita.
shloka.
You're not the body.
No
You're
eres
just
el cuerpo.
transmigrating. It's not your
Estás
thumb.
transmigrando, no eres
You've had so many
el
thumbs in
dedo
so many
gordo.
lives. What's
Tuviste
the problem?
muchos dedos
So have you ever seen
pulgares
that? How
en tus
philosophy
otras
just
vidas.
like destroys
Y
compassion?
entonces
Isn't
ven
that
cómo la
like,
filosofía puede
I
destruir
think
la
I should write a
compasión.
whole book on that topic.
Creo que voy a escribir un
How
libro sobre
philosophy
esto, cómo
destroys
la
compassion.
filosofía puede
Maybe I'll
destruir
just
la
do a video.
compasión. Voy a
It's a lot
hacer un
faster than
video.
writing a book. It
Es
only
mucho
takes 5
más
minutes.
fácil que escribir un libro. Toma algunos minutos nada
That's why I
más.
love those videos.
Por eso me
I
encantan
can
esos
just
videos.
talk for 5
Solo
minutes without
puedo,
even thinking about it.
solo puedo hablar 5
Well, not that I
minutos,
can't think about it, but I've already
Sí.
thought about it, so it's easy.
sino, bueno, más bien no es que no piense al respecto, ya pensé antes al respecto, ya puedo hablar de eso.
But the problem is I write down my little sutras here, and then next week I go and read them. I go, what? is
El
that?
problema es que escribo mis
Philosophy
pequeños
trumps
sutras
compassion.
y
What
luego
is
digo,
that?
¿qué? La filosofía
So,
se
You
lleva
take
la
our
compasión.
philosophy,
Entonces
right?
tomas nuestra,
just verbatim,
nuestra
it can look
filosofía
it can look like it lacks a lot of compassion.
y puede
So-
que le falte mucha compasión.
So Anuradha or
Así que
someone on
Anuradha
Facebook
o
says,
alguien
"Can we
en
take it as
Facebook
Krishna's passion?"
lo podemos
mercy?"
tomar
And say,
como
yeah,
la
you can take it
misericordia
for
de
yourself
Krishna.
that
Sí,
way,
lo
but
puedes
don't
tomar
throw
para
that
ti,
on somebody
pero
else.
no se lo digas a alguien más.
I just got in a car accident in the hospital, 28 broken bones.
Oh, estoy en
Krishna's
el
mercy,
hospital
Prabhu,
y tengo 28 huesos
probably should have
rotos.
had 108
Oh,
broken
esa es la
bones, you know,
misericordia
you should be
de
grateful, you know.
Krishna. Debiste de haber tenido
That
más.
person can think that way on their own,
Esa
but
persona puede
it's
pensar
not
así
really, but if that
en ella
person
misma,
says
pero
to
si
you,
una persona te
it's Krishna's
dice,
mercy
es la
because my
misericordia
life
de
was going,
Krishna,
I was really compromised in my son,
Estaba-
I wasn't reading, and now
no, estaba muy comprometido.
I'm just reading all day in the hospital, and it's just like amazing, I feel so
Y
Krishna
ahora,
conscious. And then you can agree and say, yeah, it does
si
seem
una
like
persona dice, bueno, esto
maybe
tenía que
this is
pasar
Krishna's
porque ahora
mercy.
puedo
But
leer y
to
cantar
say it
mucho
when,
más,
as soon
y
as
uno
the
puede
accident
estar de
happens,
acuerdo, pero decirlo tan pronto como pasa un
so
accidente, no.
philosophy then
Así que la
it
filosofía
destroys, it can
destruye,
destroy compassion.
puede destruir la compasión.
And you know
Y tú sabes,
that you know this, I've talked about it, and you can see
tú
it, how
sabes, y lo he hablado al respecto,
philosophy can be
que la
dangerous
filosofía puede ser
because
peligrosa
its understanding and
porque-
application can actually backfire in many ways.
porque la
And
aplicación
we don't want a
puede,
philosophy that makes us less human than the
no
average
queremos
person on the
una
street, or
filosofía que
less
nos haga
compassionate.
menos compasivos
But
o
it
menos
can,
humanos que la persona
right?
en la calle, pero sí puede hacerlo.
So that's
Así
an
que
issue.
ese es un problema.
You see, Gabriela, when the question is asked and I don't know the actual situation,
Cuando la pregunta se hace y no conozco la situación,
like you say, if you put yourself in favor of some people or ideas against others, yeah.
como te
I'm
pones
not saying if an
a
idea is
favor,
wrong or it's against Prabhupada, you shouldn't say it. No, that's your duty to say it. As long as you know you're standing on firm ground. But it's not your duty to offend anybody when you
no es
say
tu
it.
deber ofender a alguien.
Respectful dialogue.
Un
That's,
diálogo
or,
respetuoso.
This just happened. You go to the temple president. Is that,
Esto acaba de
this happened.
pasar,
This
vas
is
al
not right,
presidente
in my
del templo,
opinion.
esto no es
From what I
justo,
understand of
de
our
lo que
philosophy,
entiendo
and
de nuestra
Prabhupada, he wouldn't
filosofía.
want this. We need to
Prabhupada
do
no,
something
no
about it.
quisiera esto, tenemos que hacer algo al
Or
respecto.
sometimes in our
O a
own life,
veces en nuestra vida,
sometimes we might
a
feel we're
veces
being
puede
abused by
que
someone who feels they have the right to abuse us because they're
sentimos
our authority.
que estamos siendo abusados por alguien que no debería
And
abusar de
I would never
nosotros.
say
Yo nunca
that you should
diría
accept abuse.
que debes aceptar
never
el
say
abuso.
that.
Yo nunca diría eso.
What I would say
Lo
is
que diría
that
es
you
que
should all, you should all be aware
debes
that
estar
you could be abused by someone who's
consciente
not supposed to abuse you.
de que
And
puedes
if that's the
ser
case, you
abusado
should
por alguien
humbly distance yourself.
y debes de
Don't punch the
distanciarte de
person in
esa
the nose.
persona. No le pegues en la nariz.
Two wrongs don't make a right, but be aware.
Dos cosas
that,
erróneas no
you do
hacen
need
algo
boundaries because you have
correcto,
to
pero
maintain
si
your own
necesitas
creeper. that's
límites,
part of your duty
Parte
as
de
devotees to
tu-
maintain your devotional creeper.
parte de tu
So,
deber como devoto
and
es
then you
mantener
might say, well,
esa
it's
enredadera
difficult. I feel
devocional,
like
pero a
this is
veces
abuse.
es
And
difícil.
then someone else may say, no, you're just getting good instruction. It's not
Esto
abuse.
es abuso,
And
no,
then
estás recibiendo
you
buena
say,
instrucción. Y
yeah,
tú
you're
dices,
probably right, but
"No,
it's
tal
affecting me
vez-
like abuse, and
tal
it's not
vez,
healthy for me. So,
estás
it
en lo
would be better
correcto,
if I
pero
could
me
take the
está
instruction, but I
afectando.
can't. It feels like abuse, so
No puedo tomar
maybe
la
I have to
instrucción porque se
back out a
siente
little
como un
bit.
abuso
All right,
hacia mí.
so at least you've understood it.
Entonces al menos
And
tú
so
entiendes
whatever you do,
lo que sea que tú
when you
haces.
understand it that way, okay, at least you're not in any illusion about what's going
Al
on.
menos
And
no
if it
estás
is
en una
abuse,
ilusión de lo que está
sometimes you're in
pasando.
an
Y si
illusion
es
that it's not
abuso,
abuse. That's the other
también
side
puede
of
ser
the
que
equation,
estés
right?
en
No,
la ilusión
no, I
de que
should be
no sea
humble.
abuso.
I'm just
No, yo debo
offensive.
de
I
ser,
deserve this. That's why
debo
this
de ser
devotee is
humilde,
heavy
yo
me
merezco
out.
esto.
No. We just had an incident recently where
Tuvimos un incidente
a
recientemente
devotee was
cuando
inadvertently actually abusing another devotee, but he didn't know he was
devoto
doing it. He was just preaching.
no sabía, él estaba
He was
predicando.
preaching the straight sauce. And that straight sauce was
Él está-
mentally, psychologically destroying the devotee. But the devotee thought, well, this is probably what I need. And the devotee said, my goal in life is to destroy your false ego. Well, if anybody tells you their goal in life
Si
is to
alguien
destroy
te
your false
dice
ego, you
que
might
su
want to
trabajo
take a few
en la
steps
vida
back.
es destruir
May
tu
not
ego
be a healthy
falso,
relationship.
entonces
Especially if you're married to them, you might want to take more than a few steps back.
no es una
Or
idea
take
sana,
a
sobre
few
todo si
steps to
estás
your
casado
nearest
con
marriage counselor and deal with it ASAP. So, So that's the other side of the
Así que
equation.
ese es el otro lado de la
You
ecuación.
either react
Ya puede que sea que
against something that
reactes
isn't abuse as
sobre
abuse, or
algo,
you don't react against
sobre
abuse.
algo
So,
que
yeah,
es abuso,
I have to be.
como que no es
But the
abuso,
bottom line
o
is you
algo
have to take care of
que
your
no es
spiritual
abuso
life.
sobre abuso. Pero lo importante es que
And so
cuides de tu vida
sometimes
espiritual.
it's like,
Y a
I
veces
know I should be able
yo
to deal with
sé
this, but I
que
can't. And
debería
so
de
the
lidiar con
fact is
esto,
I
pero no
can't,
puedo. El
so
hecho
don't
es que no
fake it.
puedo.
It's
Así
like,
que no,
I know I
no.
should be able to digest stones. I mean, if I had a good digestion, I could just go outside
Si yo
and chew
fuera,
those pebbles
si yo
and digest
tuviera
them. I know
buena,
that's true, because Prabhupada said, if you
tuviera
have good
buena,
digestion, you
tuviera
can
buena
digest
digestión,
even
entonces
stones. I
yo
think
podría
some
salir a la
animals eat
calle
stones,
y
don't they?
digerir
Or
piedras,
something
¿no?
hard as stones. Yeah.
Creo que los animales pueden hacer
So,
eso, ¿no? Digerir algo tan
and I'm
duro
like
como una
totally
piedra.
depressed because
Pero
I
yo,
can't digest stones.
pero yo estoy
And I'm
completamente
so
deprimido porque
bad.
no
There's
puedo
something wrong
digerir
with me. I'm such a bad
las
devotee.
piedras.
I
O
can't
yo soy
digest
un
stones.
mal devoto porque no puedo digerir piedras.
Okay, yeah, your digestion could be better.
Sí, tu
If it was
digestión puede
better, you
ser
could
buena.
digest stones. But
Si
the
fuera
fact
buena,
is, you can't. So don't eat
pudieras
them.
digerir
And
piedras,
it's kind
pero
of
si no
simple,
es
right?
buena,
Yeah,
entonces
you
no
don't have
las
to
comas.
get mental about it.
No tienes que
Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with
volverte
my life. I
mental.
can't digest
Oh,
stones.
no
I'm so
puedo,
bad,
no puedo
I
digerir
should probably
piedras,
kill
son muy
myself.
malo,
No.
debería de
No, it's just I
suicidarme.
can't digest
No
stones. It's a
puedo
reality. I'm not going to eat
digerir
stones. I'll already
piedras,
subscribe.
entonces es una realidad,
Okay,
no lo voy a
that's it.
hacer. Y eso es todo.
So sometimes it's like,
Entonces
I
a
know I
veces
should take the
es
sauce,
que
but I can't. It's
debería
driving me crazy.
tomar
And,
esto directo, pero no
I'm a
puedo.
certain person, a
Yo
personality. This is the
soy
way
cierta
I've
persona,
been through
cierta
experiences in my
personalidad.
life that I'm
He
extremely
tenido,
sensitive. And when people speak that way to
he
me,
tenido
I can't
ciertas
deal with it. I just
experiencias en
I
mi
get
vida y
angry or
no puedo
depressed or I stop
lidiar con
chanting.
ellas.
Okay, so deal with it. Distance yourself. Tell the person, I can't deal with this. This is. And
Dile
they'll
a la
say,
persona
I'm
que
just smashing your
no
false ego.
puedes,
I say, well,
no puedes
I'm
lidiar
sorry,
con
I can't.
esto.
I
Si te
can't keep you
dicen,
as my
si te dicen,
mentor
no, solo
anymore
estoy
because
matando tu ego,
my
falto
false ego is like really
decirle,
bruised right now, and I'm in
discúlpame,
pain.
pero no
All
no
right,
puedo tomar
it's
eso,
just
no
what it
puedo
is.
lidiar
So
con
the point
esto
is,
y
you have to
estoy
protect yourself,
adolorida. Entonces
whatever
el
that
punto
means, right?
es que
Like sometimes you ever try to chant your rounds in the temple
a veces
with a devotee who's chanting their rounds, and it looks like they were endowed with a sound system as a voice. You know those kind of devotees?
a veces tienes
They don't need a
devotos
lot.
en
I
el
can't
templo
even.
que
With
están
my
cantando y
speaking through a
parece que
microphone,
tienen
it's not as loud
incorporado
as them without a
un
microphone.
sistema
You know those
de
devotees? I don't know
audio.
how they do it.
No sé cómo lo
So
hacen.
I'm looking at them. It's
Estoy
like,
viéndolos.
do you have an amplifier in your
Tienes
chest?
un
Like, this is
amplificador en
amazing.
tu,
It's like we can hear you, on
en
the other
tu
side of the Atlantic
pecho.
Ocean. This is like
Te
amazing. How do you
podemos
do that?
escuchar afuera del
Have you ever
océano
been in a
Atlántico.
temple like that?
¿Alguna
And you're
vez
like,
han
I
estado
know I should stay in
en
the
un
temple
templo así?
and
Yo
chant
sé,
my rounds.
yo
There's
sé
only
que,
one problem.
yo
I'm
sé,
listening to his rounds, not my rounds.
yo sé que debería
You ever
quedarme
been
en
in
el
that
templo a
situation?
escuchar, a cantar, pero el problema es que estoy escuchando,
So, you have to make a
escuchándolo a él
decision.
cantar,
Say,
¿no?
well, everybody says chant with the devotees, so I'll
Todos
go
dicen,
home, I'll
canta
fall
con los
asleep, or I'll go
devotos,
on
porque si
Facebook or
no,
whatever. But
todos
these
se
rounds,
van a quedar
I can't,
Pero
it's like,
estas
why should
rondas,
I even chant? Because
no,
I'm not
entonces
even
¿para
hearing
qué
myself.
canto? Porque no me puedo ni
I would have to
escuchar a mí
scream
mismo.
louder than him to hear
Tendría que
myself.
gritar más fuerte que él.
So, this is whatever kind of strange example it is, but I
Este
think
es
it's similar.
un
Like
ejemplo
sometimes
extraño,
you'll say, well,
pero a
I
veces
know
es
it's
así.
not the
Yo sé
best
que
that I
no es
leave
lo
the temple,
mejor que
but I
deje el
know
templo,
it's better
pero
that I
sé que es
hear my rounds than not
mejor
hear
que yo
them. So,
escuche mis rondas a
something like that.
escucharlas
Right?
de algo
Maybe it's
así.
not the best
A
that I
veces
distance
no es
myself
lo
from this
mejor de
devotee
que me
who's
distancie de
doing
este
a
devoto
really good job
que
of
está
smashing my
haciendo,
false ego, but
que
right
está
now
haciendo un
I'm
buen
not in the
trabajo en aplastar
false ego smashing mood.
mi ego
So
falso,
I
pero
think
no
I
estoy en un
distance.
humor de que aplasten mi ego falso ahorita.
Now, Gabriel, did that answer your question?
Gabriel, ¿eso respondió a tu pregunta?
Wasn't sure I actually answered it.
No estoy seguro si
Probably. Now
la
we have
respondí.
one. Okay. Yeah. If ours, we have a few minutes. Trying to get to the next message. Oh. If our 6 disciples are also acharyas, then we don't have to instruct all 800.
Para los
No, you have to instruct your 800 disciples to become acharyas.
Tienen que instruir a sus
And you can
800
serve them.
discípulos para ser
Yeah, they're
acharyas
acharyas.
y
Prabhupada said, "You're
pueden
all my gurus."
servirles.
This class was not on Facebook. It says live on Facebook. Okay, so should we change the name of the class? What to do if you can't digest stones?
Cambiamos el título de la clase. ¿Qué hacer si no puedes digerir piedras?
Okay, so I guess I'm going to end. How do I end? I go click on Facebook and say stop live stream?
Yeah,
Setting?
yeah. In Zoom, you stop live stream.
Okay.
Yeah. Then if you want to start doing again for the job, sorry, I cannot do it.
Okay, let's do it again.
Hagámoslo de
Live
nuevo
on Facebook.
en Facebook.
So what do I call it? Japa?
¿Cómo le llamo?
Japa Sanga or
Japa Sanga.
Japa. Share on your page. And then what page do I share on?
His Grace. His Grace.
Page 2. We are now going live.
Ahora vamos en vivo.
And then we have to hit record also, right?
Y luego vamos a poner graba.
Are we still recording from the last class?
Yes. No, I can record it.
It says recording. Mhm.
Okay, yeah, but it's from the last class.
I don't
Can
see
you
a way.
stop? Can you
I
stop
don't-
recording? On the bottom, it says record.
It doesn't allow me to stop.
This is the- I will write.
Okay. So, Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna a todos.
Summary of last class, don't eat stone. You can't digest.
El resumen de la clase pasada, si no puedes digerir piedras, no comas piedras.
Yes. So, was I talking in the last class, in the last Japa Sanga about, I don't think I was, about hankering. Was I talking about that hankering?
En
The
la-
higher state of Japa? Was I talking about that? Or, no.
No.
No,
En la
ok.
clase pasada estaba
Recording
hablando
stop.
sobre anhelar un estado más elevado de Japa, creo, no, ¿verdad?
So, many of you know there's a song by Bhaktivinoda Thakur where he's hankering.
Recording in progress.
He's hankering for a state of Krishna consciousness that he has not yet achieved. Well, apparently he's playing the role of having not yet achieved it.
Como saben, hay una canción de Bhaktivinoda Thakur donde él está tratando de alcanzar un estado de conciencia de Krishna que él todavía aparentemente no ha alcanzado o tomando el rol de alguien que no lo ha alcanzado.
The song is the first line, Kabe Habe Bolo Se Dinama.
La primera línea es:
So he's praying, when will that day come when I'm chanting without offense?
así que él está orando, ¿cuándo va a llegar ese día que yo cante sin ofensas?
When my offense is ceasing, taste for the name increasing.
Cuando mis ofensas van a cesar y mi gusto por el canto se va a incrementar.
This is the poet put into poetry. When, oh, when? When will your mercy shine? In my heart will your mercy shine? When, oh, when will that day be mine?
Y la poesía va como, ¿cuándo va a brillar en mi corazón tu misericordia y cuándo ese día va a ser mío?
So, some of you know that you are going to create your life better from the future as opposed to the past.
Algunos saben que van a crear su vida mejor en el futuro, contrario a su pasado.
In the Japa workshop, we talk a lot about how we're often chanting, we're often kind of subconsciously predicting how our chanting is going to go based on how it has gone.
En el taller de Japa, básicamente predecimos cómo va a ser nuestro canto en el futuro, basándonos en cómo ha sido nuestro canto en el pasado.
But Bhaktivinoda Thakur is not doing that.
Pero Bhaktivinoda Thakur no está haciendo eso.
He's thinking about what he wants, what kind of relationship he wants with the holy name and what he wants to experience from the holy name.
Él está pensando en qué tipo de relación quiere con el santo nombre y qué relación va a experimentar con el santo
So
nombre.
this is an exercise we're going to do in Japa Retreat Level 2, but I'll give it to you now because you're all so special and I love you so much.
Este es un ejercicio que vamos a hacer en el retiro de Japa nivel 2, pero se los voy a dar ahorita porque son muy especiales para mí y los amo mucho.
I would like you to think about what you would want to experience from the holy name, if anything were possible.
Quiero que piensen en qué les gustaría experimentar con el santo nombre si todo fuera posible.
In the realm of infinite possibility, what would you like to experience from the holy name?
En el reino de las posibilidades infinitas, ¿qué les gustaría experimentar con el santo nombre?
So that becomes your prayer today when you chant Japa.
Eso se vuelve su rezo el día de hoy cuando canten su Japa.
It can be a certain kind of taste. It can be Krishna appearing in his holy name. You just be, keep me awake, Krishna. Whatever.
Puede ser tener cierto tipo de gusto, cierto tipo de que Krishna aparezca con nosotros en el santo nombre, o puede ser que nos mantenga despiertos.
And it doesn't even have to be something that you think is possible.
Y no,
It just has to be something that you want.
y no tiene que ser algo que ustedes piensan que no es posible, sino algo que ustedes quieran.
So that's what I would encourage you to do today and see if that works for you.
Eso los voy a alentar a que lo hagan y ver si funciona para ustedes.
When will the day be mine? And then you fill in what it is. What is your vision of what you want to experience with the holy name?
¿Cuándo ese día será mío? Y espacio en blanco para que pongan lo que quieren experimentar con el santo nombre.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Jai.
Gurudev, can you make Goramani host so she can do this live session?
This is nice, because this making host is interesting. As devotees, we should always be willing to put anyone in any position above us if they can serve better.
Esto es muy lindo de hacer anfitriones a las personas, porque siempre debemos de poner a otra persona que consideremos que sea más cualificado arriba, ¿no? Arriba de nosotros.
We're all very happy to make one another hosts, and I hope this can continue in your life. Be happy to help others outdo you.
Todos estamos muy felices de poner a otros como anfitriones y espero que esto continúe durante su vida, incluso que lo supere a ustedes.
Shri